Hello, this talk is about World War One and how it began. Fundamentally, World War One was fought over Serbia. Because of the ethnic tensions between Serbian Croats and Muslims in the Balkans. At this time, the Russians considered themselves the brother nation of the Serbs, and they still do to a certain extent. Now, when I was watching Amazing Atheist vid on white nationalism, and I agree with most of the things he said, but he was completely wrong about what started World War One, because World War One led directly to World War Two. You can say that the Allies had one war with a 20-year break in between. If it hadn't been for World War One, then World War Two wouldn't have happened, and that's the crux of what I'm talking about now. Austria sent its leader, Arch Duke Ferdinand, who was pro-Serbian, actually more pro-Serbian than he was pro-German speaker, although he himself was from a German-speaking royal family. He was assassinated by Serbian extremists who were backed by Russia and France. This caused World War One. Instead of being on the side of the aggrieved party, Britain and America for a while stood neutral, but their neutrality wasn't quite, as you would say, Swiss. Their neutrality had always been based on the idea that France and Russia would be a bulwark to German power. This was because of the 1870 war, where France invaded Germany and Bismarck and the Prussian army soundly defeated them at Sedan and then took Paris. This is what caused the build-up of Germany as a major power, because the French, after suing for peace, had to give 1 billion marks in reparations. Now, this seems rather familiar from the German perspective, because once again, with Austria being at war with Russia, Germany gave support. Austria invaded Serbia. Russia warned Austria not to do this. Austria invaded Serbia and then was attacked by Russia. Russia had an alliance with France. Germany gave support to Austria and put overtures to Britain to give diplomatic support as well, since their head of state, the Austrian head of state, had been assassinated. Now, what was the result of this support given to Austria by Germany? The result was that France and Russia invaded Germany. This is what started the First World War, because by de facto, since Russia is such a large power and stretched right across the world, and France was a imperial power rather than Germany, which was a European power, this made it a world war. Now, Germany's subsequent invasion of neutral Belgium, which was a wrong act and shouldn't have been done, there's no excuse for it, but that didn't start the First World War. The First World War had already begun, but the invasion of Belgium then brought Britain in, because Britain had guaranteed Belgian neutrality, and that, TJ, is what started the First World War. And the First World War directly led on to the Treaty of Versailles, and then the subsequent problems which brought Adolf Hitler to power. That's what caused World War II. Therefore, I had to make this video to sort this out, because you've just basically misinterpreted the entire history of Europe, and I can't let that go. So I wish everyone well, and thanks for listening, YouTube.